Perseverance has just successfully landed on Mars, which marks another milestone in space exploration. But the question we need to be asking ourselves is, are we gods? To answer this question, let's go back to Ezekiel chapter 1.
Ezekiel
Chapter 1. In the 30th year, in the 4th month, on the 5th day, while I was among the exiles by the Kibar River, the heavens were opened, and I saw visions of God. I looked, and I saw a windstorm coming out of the north, an immense cloud with flashing lightning and surrounded by brilliant light. The center of the fire looked like glowing metal, and in the fire was what looked like 4 living creatures. In appearance, their form was that of a man, but each of them had 4 faces and 4 wings. Their legs were straight. Their feet were like those of a calf and gleamed like burnished bronze. Under their wings, on their 4 sides, they had the hands of a man. All 4 of them had faces and wings, and their wings touched one another. Each one went straight ahead. They did not turn as they moved. Their faces looked like this. Each of the 4 had the face of a man, and on the right side each had the face of a lion, and on the left the face of an ox. Each also had the face of an eagle. Such were their faces. Their wings were spread out upward. Each had 2 wings, one touching the wing of another creature on either side, and 2 wings covering its body. Each one went straight ahead. Wherever the Spirit would go, they would go, without turning as they went. The appearance of the living creatures was like burning coals of fire, or like torches. Fire moved back and forth among the creatures. It was bright, and lightning flashed out of it. The creatures sped back and forth like flashes of lightning. As I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground beside each creature with its 4 faces. This was the appearance and structure of the wheels. They sparkled like chrysolite, and all 4 looked alike. Each appeared to be made like a wheel intersecting a wheel. As they moved, they would go in any one of the 4 directions the creatures faced. The wheels did not turn about as the creatures went. Their rims were high and awesome, and all 4 rims were full of eyes all around. When the living creatures moved, the wheels beside them moved. And when the living creatures rose from the ground, the wheels also rose. Wherever the Spirit would go, they would go, and the wheels would rise along with them, because the Spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. When the creatures moved, they also moved. When the creatures stood still, they also stood still. And when the creatures rose from the ground, the wheels rose along with them, because the Spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. Spread out above the heads of the living creatures was what looked like an expanse, sparkling like ice, and awesome. Under the expanse their wings were stretched out one toward the other, and each had 2 wings covering its body. When the creatures moved, I heard the sound of their wings like the roar of rushing waters, like the voice of the Almighty, like the tumult of an army. When they stood still, they lowered their wings. Then there came a voice from above the expanse over their heads as they stood with lowered wings. Above the expanse over their heads was what looked like a throne of sapphire, and high above on the throne was a figure like that of a man. I saw that from what appeared to be his waist up, he looked like glowing metal, as if full of fire, and that from there down he looked like fire, and brilliant light surrounded him. Like the appearance of a rainbow in the clouds on a rainy day, so was the radiance around him. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. When I saw it, I fell face down, and I heard the voice of one speaking.
Ezekiel chapter 1 saw vividly what looks like a machine, which in fact was a machine, and if you look at the components, it looks just like a spaceship. And Ezekiel was marveled and surprised by all that he saw. Now, if there are people on Mars, all that they will be asking is, are we aliens? To people on Mars, we will be aliens. To every living organism on Mars, looking at Perseverance rover, landing on Mars with the fires, with everything that looked like what Ezekiel described, to them, we will become like aliens. But you see, unlike Ezekiel, or what Ezekiel saw, those people that Ezekiel saw, they knew exactly that we are here. And they came directly to Ezekiel. But to us, we don't know. We are just using the principle of try and error and markers like methanes and minerals that support life on Earth here. As we move on with our space exploration projects, the question we need to be asking ourselves is, what would others or other organisms, if there are any in other planets, think of us? They will think of us as gods. In fact, the Mayans and all other civilizations that recorded the presence and the visitation of other heavenly beings, they recorded them as gods. They recorded them as aliens. Have we become aliens to other planets? Have we become gods to other planets? In fact, the Bible makes it very clear that we are gods. These are questions you need to be asking yourself when other vessels show up on Earth. When people record videos of aliens and spacecrafts in the air, will they be gods? Or there will be other civilizations trying to make contact with us, just as we are making contact with Mars and will continue to other planets? Are we going to call them gods or aliens? This is a question that you have to think about.